Hello, hello, hello again. We are back with another episode of Tell Me Something Good. This is an opportunity for the people I know and love to share something good, especially in these crazy times. And I am very grateful and excited to have my friend Chaz join today. Chaz is the GM for Dex Imaging across the South Florida area. He and I have been working together for about a year. He's one of my favorite clients. He is one that has taken all the gospel and all the bullshit, turned it into some good stuff. If you have not followed him on social media, you should. Welcome to the show, Chaz Warrington.
Thank you, Steve Middleberg. Myself and Action Figure Mosh are very happy to be here. Very happy.
So explain that to people. Let them know.
This right here is something good, something that's tremendously good. That's one of my 10 different action figures. Yes, I have an action figure. It's not a doll, it's an action figure with.
So let's call it what it is. When I first met you and you told me you had an action figure, I thought you had lost your marbles. I was like, what do you mean, man?
Well, the best part is when I say to people, hey, I have my own action figure, they're like, you collect action figures? I'm like, only my own.
So give them the backdrop. Tell them who you are and what you are and all that stuff.
So the backdrop is I was with the World Wrestling Federation back when it was WWF, now WWE, for 10 years, part-time for 3 years, and then part-time for 7. So that's why I have my own action figure video games. I'm a former World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion. So that's kind of my background before I moved over into the corporate world. But at the same time, I'm still wrestling. With WrestleMania coming up, it got canceled. So I had a lot of stuff lined up that got canceled because of the whole virus thing that's going on. But yeah, so that's a little bit about my background.
So I love that. And one of the things I absolutely want to touch on is when we first started working together, first of all, I was scared shitless of you because you're huge. But secondly, more importantly, we had this conversation about whether you should actually promote the fact that you have these dual lives. And I think one of the things we can share with our audience is that that's proven to be really successful for you.
Yeah, I always knew, and I've told you this, I've always knew there was something with LinkedIn, but I just couldn't figure out what it was. And when we met, one of the first things I asked you was, okay, I have this wrestling background. I've always avoided putting it on LinkedIn with the fear of a CEO or a CFO type person, look at me and see that, because as you see, I mean, this is me. I wear a skirt when I wrestle. Real men wear skirts. So that's kind of my personality comes out that way. And I was afraid that they would look at it and go, oh, this guy's a clown. They wouldn't take me seriously. But
well, you are a clown. I mean,
I am a clown, but yeah, but still, it's a different type. I'm not Doink the Clown. I'm not Bozo the Clown. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. It depends on who you talk to. But the fear was, they wouldn't take me seriously. But then meeting with you, one of the things I got out of it was the personal branding side of that's who you are. You have to embrace it and go with it and be you. And since I've done that, it's opened up a bunch of different doors for me. It's opened up a totally different world, because a lot of that reserved side of me that I would hold back thinking I had to be business-like and corporate-like and stuff like that was kind of stuffy, and that wasn't me. So now that I've been able to just open up and be myself, it's kind of changed everything.
Which is really fantastic. I mean, the time we've worked together has been so enjoyable for me because you bring to the party all of the attributes of what an athlete does. You're willing to work hard. You put in, there's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of ethics that you bring to the table. Share with us, because I think it's really good, what your journey has been like, especially in light of what's recent current events. We're airing this, in a couple of days, and obviously the world's upside down. What has all of your training and discipline brought to you today that is continuing to make you a great leader and certainly a great salesperson?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just I'm a very transparent person. My emotions are pretty much written on my forehead. There's no sugarcoating with me at all. So through this whole coronavirus thing, The thing that's actually been very helpful is business is still happening. So with that being said, I'm very upfront with my clients with, closing deals. I'm very upfront with my reps, just telling them, look, I realize it's, some people take it as being insensitive, but I'm just transparent and I'm honest and open about it, going, look, the truth of the matter is this. Yes, we're in a crisis. There's things going on, but business is still happening. It's just happening differently now. And when this is all over, it's all said and done with, the one guarantee, 100% guarantee, is we're still going to, it's like Joe Mullins posted on LinkedIn today. And
he's pretty awesome, isn't he, man? He
saved it. Ooh. I mean, his thing was 0.01% of us are going to get this virus and going to be critically ill from it. But the 100% guaranteed that when it's all over, it's all said and done, we're still going to have bills. Business is still going to happen. We're still going to have all this stuff. So life, you almost need that normalcy. So I guess for me, for all of this, what I've learned is I'm just upfront and being transparent about it with clients and with my teammates, going, look, we still got to keep pushing, because if we stop now, it's going to hurt even more 3 or 4 weeks or a month or 2 months down the road when all of this is over. So we just got to keep going and keep going, embrace the daily grind still. And we got to push a little bit more now, but we got to keep going. Life is still going to go on. So that's the biggest thing I've gotten out of this.
I love your perspective. You've grown so much over the year that we've worked together. It's astounding. But the reality is, I think people get caught up in, looking for other people's approval. And one of the things that I work on with people is just go with your gut, man. There's genuine and authenticness in you that you've seen the South Florida community embrace you in ways you couldn't have probably imagined, because you're willing to put yourself out there. You're willing to be vulnerable. Listen, nobody has the answers to anything that's going on right now. Even for me, no. I've been in business 40 plus years. This is unprecedented, but to be a leader, you have to step out in front of it and say, okay, I'm willing to take the risk to put my opinion out there, regardless of whether you think it's right or wrong.
Yeah. And the thing with me is I'm a big proponent of leading by example. For instance, you can see around me, I'm in the office. I've been in the office every day this week. I'm still running appointments. I've been out doing trainings with clients. I'm meeting with clients in person and virtually on here, but I'm here. I'm working. I'm not hiding from it. I'm being cautious. I'm being smart, but I'm not hiding from it. At the same time, it's just a matter of pushing through. And my thing is this: if I walked into an account and the first thing I said was, oh my God, like this is the end of the world, we're done as this, no one's going to want to do business. I think a lot of people are looking at different ways to have normalcy still in their lives. And I don't want to say I'm trying to do that, but I'm trying to live as normal as possible and proceed as normal as possible. Because again, my whole thing is I like to try to lead by example. If I can do it, my teammates, no one else can have an excuse of not getting it done if I'm able to get it done.
So it's interesting you bring that up, because you're an athlete. You always have been. You work out, you do the reps, you try and create some type of routine that keeps your mind and body. It's the same thing in being a professional salesperson, and I agree with you. I think the fact that people have been disrupted, the closer you can bring them back to something that's normal. And we're fortunate that we preach all of these digital tools that are available, the whole social media realm. And so while people are talking about distance, it's not really about distance. It's, so much as I think people are afraid of isolation. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. I think right. As well as I know, is that we are not isolated, because the tools allow us to do things that we couldn't do 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's just a matter of being smart and being different with it now. And actually, I'm the furthest thing from isolated, and not even just being here. I'm reaching out to friends, clients, different leaders in the community with being on the different boards that I'm on, reaching out to them going, hey, what are you seeing in there? And it's making us communicate even more about what's going on in the world. And from a sales side, as you know, the most important thing is having a funnel and keeping the funnel full. And what I'm trying to let my teammates know and share with them is we have to keep pushing now to keep that funnel full, because when this is over in 3, 4, 8 weeks, whatever it is, you can't start all over. You got to keep pushing and keep doing it, because eventually everyone's going to realize that business has to go on and things have to keep going.
Love it. I want to share one tremendous story. I think it's our biggest success story in social media. Can you share the story about how you connected with Eric Kelly? Because for the audience that's watching, I think the big paradigm shift for them is why would people want to understand what I do or who I am outside of my business life? And you have a perfect case study for that.
Yep. So going through Steve's LinkedIn like a pro, one of the things I always do is, and it's funny how it comes back and they're like, oh, so you talked to Steve. What I usually is when I get a connection request on LinkedIn, I do the old, thanks for reaching out to connect. Can you remind me how we know each other? So I did the same thing with Eric, and it came back. It was funny that I had flown out. I had to do a show up in last month. Up outside Philadelphia, did the show, flew back into West Palm, and my son plays travel soccer, and his team made it to the finals that weekend. I got off the airplane, ran to the car, jumped in the car, drove to Jupiter, a half hour north, to catch the last 20 minutes of the finals that his team made. So they lost in the finals, but they're all lined up. I took a picture of them with their medals, posted it on LinkedIn, basically saying just what I said, rushed up to watch my son the final 20 minutes.
Fantastic.
So I got this request from Eric, and did I lose you?
Nope, you're still here. You're
okay.
Good.
So I said, I got this request from Eric, so I did the old, hey, thanks for the invite to connect. Can you remind me how we know each other? So his response was great. He actually said, we don't know each other. He goes, I was reaching out to follow you. He goes, because I saw your story about how you ran to the soccer game and to watch the last 20 minutes of your son's game. He goes, my son was playing also. He's, I think, U11. My son's U16. But he said he was on the field right next to me. So that's how we connected. And we actually had lunch, have been jiggling all around. But that's how we connected, was me sharing. If I never shared that I was drove and I was at the soccer field, he would have never seen it. He would have never reached out to me with that mutual connection of our kids playing soccer and actually being at the same tournament and our fields right next to one another. And then it just worked out to be even funnier that you were having lunch with him that same day that I shared that story with you.
I mean, so, to me, the whole takeaway, the goodness of all of this is you are sharing who you are, what you do, who you do it with, when you do it. And just because of that turned out to attract another leader. And actually, Eric is a major leader in the West Palm Beach community to you, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Right. And I think that's the most fascinating part of social media, when I see guys like you who embrace it, who from the start, and you're very much like my son, who said, dude, if you tell me this is going to work, I'm going to trust you and I'm going to go with it.
Right. So, I'm going to do it. I've done it, and I've seen it in a lot of other places also, where I do the same thing. They reach out and they say, oh, I saw you on this, or I saw you post this, and somebody shared your thing, or this, that, and other thing, and I just wanted to be a part of what you're doing. And there's other people who just for some reason want to reach out. They say to me, why'd you ask me this question? Well, the reason is it starts, like Steve, you've shared, is it starts the dialogue. It gets conversation going. And I tell them straight up, I want to know who I'm connecting with, because I don't know if there's something down the road that I could help you with, or you might be able to help me with. But that's what it's there for, because as you said 1,000 times, I've heard it with all the seminars. If you do nothing, what happens? Nothing. Nothing happens.
I love it. I love it.
So that side of it, with the, saying, hey, how to remind me how we know each other, has worked more than just that once, but that just was the perfect storm of a story right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. We put it in the webinars and in the presentations we do, because it's so real and so genuine. So I'm thrilled that we got to share some of us with the rest of the world. In the final minute, what is tell me something good? What do you want to tell the universe that's good with all of this crazy bullshit that's going on around us? What's good, Chaz Warrington?
Something good is just life. Life is happening. We can all take this scenario, this situation that's going on, and hide in a box and hide under the bed and hide in a closet, just hide from it. Or you can go out and embrace it and look at it and go, okay, what can we do? What can we learn from this? How can we get better? From a business side, I think getting better is being able to learn, okay, look, we have technology. we don't have to drive, 45 minutes to meet someone. I did a Zoom interview, just meeting with, not even interview, a meeting with someone. And it was great because for me, for the equipment, the copier side, he was able to pick up his laptop and carry it around like this and show me the equipment. So I just think this whole thing, we got to look at it as, a glass isn't even half full. My glass is always full. That's how we have to look at it. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. Tell me something good. It's just everything is good. Nothing is really bad. Yeah, it's bad, but it could always be worse. So things aren't as bad.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we got the opportunity to show you off, share you with the world. You're a very special human being. And thank you for joining us. And I will see you soon. I wore my Dex red for today.
I like it. I like it a lot.
You be good, my brother. I'll see you soon.
All right. I'll see you, Steve. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.